Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. Streaming live. It's Monday. We're doing our Monday night live streams. So I'm currently in South Florida. I'm having a little internet lag here, so bear with me. And today is Monday. It is April 21st. It's Monday. Yes, I think you can hear me now. It's April 21st, 2025. We are in year 6 of what I'm calling the battle. And if you're like me, you probably are experiencing some battle fatigue. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. I'm going to share with you some remedies and resources. And I would to hear from you where you are tuning in from, and let me know how long you have been on board as a healthy American. I'm really curious to know because I have people that have been with me from the very beginning. I have others that have really hopped on board over the last couple of years, and I welcome all naysayers as well as the yaysayers. So in the live stream, I want to hear from you as well. And let me know if you have experienced any battle fatigue, as I call it, meaning what are the battles that you've been fighting? I've been here defending freedom, teaching people about their rights, the laws that should protect those rights. I have helped people keep their jobs without the jab. I've spoken out quite a bit about critical thinking, reading between the lies, as I call it, not being deceived and duped by the bamboozlers. And I've got a few people that I been pointing out the discrepancies, the two sides of kind of their two-faced nature, and I've taken a lot of flack for that, and that's for sure. And it looks like I'm having some kind of slow, I'm getting alerts or something, but let me know if you are. Hopefully you all are on board and you're able to hear me here. Actually, while we're getting underway, let me thank the sponsor of the video. And we're going to go over to Noble Gold Investments. And this is a message for those of you who may have a portfolio, a retirement portfolio of $250,000 or more. Even if you don't have that and you're interested in buying some physical gold, this is where you want to go. And that is noblegoldinvestments.com. But the alert for folks that have $250,000 in their portfolio, and if you are not hedged, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb. Markets, as you know, are going up and down. They are all over the board. And history shows that volatility, and it shows that there's risk. So think about a 10% allocation gold and silver that could hedge your portfolio against uncertainty, and this could protect your wealth. So Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to hedge your portfolio with institutional grade gold and silver. And right now, every qualified investor will receive a free 10th ounce gold coin, and you can see it right here. So find out how you can protect your portfolio today. Give the folks at Noble Gold Investments a call, and that is at 1-877-646-5347. At the end of the video, I'll have that linked for you in the description box, along with the disclaimer that there's always a risk of any kind of investment. As you've seen in the stock market, there's no guarantee of any kind, but if you want to get your hands on some actual physical gold or silver, or learn more about doing a gold IRA, then please check out noblegoldinvestments.com. All right, friends, I made a couple of notes today because I did a video last week about a grandmother who wrote to me, and she was so distressed over her 5-year-old granddaughter that the court had given her custody or temporary custody, and both the mother, which was this woman's daughter, and wanted to keep the child free from becoming a human pincushion. And the court was ordering the girl to go to kindergarten. The mother had been homeschooling, and I don't have all of the story, but the part that I do want to share with you is how distressing it is when there are individuals like the grandparent or you or me, And we're standing by seeing the harms that are being inflicted upon children in particular. And it's so very distressing to me to know that this judge was ordering the child to go to public school, which meant becoming a human pincushion. I don't know what state they were in, but there are certain states, and I've covered this in great detail on my channel previously, that are completely disregarding the law, disregarding your rights and the rights of everyone, and requiring that these children become human pincushions in order to attend school. I know California, Maine, I think it's Connecticut. There are a couple of other states, about 5 or 6 now, that have completely thrown out the law because you have a right to not participate in these medical interventions. It was so distressing to me and so many of you. I want to thank you for your very heartfelt comments and sharing your stories as well. And I also shared a couple of resources. I shared a book called, and I think I have that nearby as well. That book was, let's see. Yeah, I've got that right. Let me share that with you again. So this is called Understanding Vaccination, and that is a new parent's guide. And this book is really fantastic. And it was written by a healthy American, actually, in Canada, Ted Kuntz, Kuntz. And he was, I would like to have him as a guest, but he was actually in the chat on one of the private webinars that I did where we can speak freely about all of these things. So this book is fantastic. And then I also shared a website called Physicians for Informed Consent. I've spoken about that phrase before, informed consent. And there are better ways of expressing it, but the website is fantastic. And they have loads and loads of information. And it's physiciansforinformedconsent.org. You can download all of these documents about the ingredients in these cocktails, about all of the side effects. And what this grandparent wanted was to educate the judge. And because the judge actually asked for information about this, and she was fighting it both on medical grounds and religious grounds as well. So it is so very troubling to consider that the future of an innocent child is in the hands of a judge. Again, I don't know all of the situation. Many of you told me, well, some of you have written to me in the past telling me about your experience. I know I'm freezing a little bit here, friends. Some of you have written to me telling me about your experience in the family law courts. I even had social workers who wrote to me telling me their frustrations and where they finally had to go into a different field. I have had attorneys and advocates telling me about the horrors in these family law courts. So my prayers go out to this grandmother. And I was really touched by how many of you were sharing your compassionate heart about this as well. And it put me in mind of this feeling weary, feeling overwhelmed, the battle fatigue. Where do I turn? And I also, prior to airing that video on Friday, I had just finished a very lengthy, in-depth interview with Leslie Manookian, who is a fellow freedom fighter. She's been an advocate for over 20 years. She produced a documentary, an award-winning documentary about the harms of these products. So and that was 20 years ago. So she has been on the front lines for so long. And I asked her, I said, Leslie, how have you been able to persevere in the face of this battle? I mean, ongoing. And she was successful. She was the one, friends, that we can thank for getting rid of the suffocation devices on airplanes. And she fought for that. She brought that to a federal court. And now she was instrumental in passing a law in Idaho, getting rid of these requirements for covering your face, for becoming a human pincushion, or any other medical intervention that would be imposed by anyone, by a grocery store, by your employer, by any school. And I'm going to share that video with you coming up, actually in 2 parts, because we went on for so long. And one of the questions I asked her was, how do you persevere? I mean, even getting this bill passed in Idaho, up until the very last minute, they were pulling shenanigans and wanting to change things. And she said she was just literally on the phone for hours at a time going over all of this. And one of the things is that she said, and that's something that we do here on this channel, is she is not going it alone. Now, I don't think you've ever heard me say, we're all in this together. I don't care for that phrase. I think it might, in some cases come from a sincere place, but that phrase has been so manipulated by the powers that shouldn't be as a way of almost manipulating you into thinking that you can endure this because everybody else had to wear the device, everybody else got the jab, so we're all in this together. I don't care for that phrase. What I like is we're standing shoulder to shoulder. We are supporting each other. We are there for each other. We're there to encourage. And she said that she has a team that she works with doing all of this work, the legislative work and the lawsuits. She certainly doesn't go it alone. So some of the information that I made a couple of notes here that I'm calling these feelings of weariness, of overwhelm. I'm calling it battle fatigue because it is a battle. And it's exactly what the bad guys want to do is they want to wear us down so that we don't have the wherewithal to keep defending, to keep standing strong, to keep doing the right thing, to keep living by our convictions. What they want is they want us to give in, give up, and give over our freedom. And they want us to give in, give up, and give over our attention to many of these distractions that are going on. I touch upon them from time to time on my channel. Some people like to have that content. It's kind of shocking to me that one of the highest views of my videos was talking about Katy Perry going into space. I guess people want to verify that what they saw looked ridiculous and that there were others that could see it was ridiculous. So I do touch upon those topics from time to time, these orchestrated events where, it looks very strange when we've got a lot of witnesses that are apparently reading from scripts and kind of chuckling and wearing strange clothing. It doesn't add up. So I do cover that content from time to time. But at an extreme, it can become a distraction. And the bad guys are taking our attention, taking our time, our energy, our resources, our well-being. And that's why I really don't broadcast very much on the weekends. Once in a while, I'll do a bonus video. And I do have my monthly webinar, which is on a Saturday for all of my lovely supporters that have partnered with me financially. I'm so grateful for you. That's the first Saturday of every month. But aside from that, I really take a sabbatical from social media on the weekends. I rarely will answer email. I do not go on my computer. I don't go on social media. I don't go on social media anyway. I don't really consider you. Let me know if you're on social media. I consider YouTube more as a platform for teaching and supporting each other. It's not like Instagram where people are scrolling through at breakneck speed. They don't want to sit and watch and learn. Certainly not like Facebook. I'm not on that at all. I actually set my Instagram page to private because it's just not where I want to be. It's not a platform that resonates with me. I am not on Telegram. People have told me, "Oh, I saw your post on Telegram." I'm not on Telegram, for the record. Many years ago, I had a swindler. I'll put it that way. Someone who swindled me. And this was somebody that I trusted to assist me in the Healthy American. And it's certainly nobody that's with me now. So it's not anyone that you know. It's not anyone that's any of my moderators or anything like that. This was years ago. And this swindler set up the channel and never would divulge the password or the username. I cannot shut it down. I cannot change it. And that swindler did other very, very bad things to betray me. It betrayed my trust, harmed the reputation, not my reputation, but her reputation, dealing with certain healthy Americans who needed help and support, and she did not do it correctly. And also swindled me financially. And I'm not going to go into any more detail because that's just not what I'm going to do. But I'm putting that out there because this is somebody that I had in a position of trust that I actually paid money to. I mean, I a lot of money. And you think of a person that you trust and they end up cheating you and lying to you and swindling you. Yet then you look at somebody in the public eye, like Bob Kennedy or Elon Musk or Trump or anybody out there, even people in the, medical freedom field, it, you don't think they might? I mean, it's stunning to me that people will put trust into these public figures, never thinking, like with Bob Kennedy, like, how could he betray me? But even people that you know. So it was very, very troubling to me. And I don't really know how. Oh, I was telling you I'm not on Telegram. So anyway, I can't get off of Telegram because this swindler won't give me the password. And it's an area of my life that I'm working on, forgiveness. Let me know if you have that same issue. And that's part of the battle fatigue as well. When you feel worn down, like people that you trusted and then they betrayed you. So I want to hear from you. Where are you struggling? Where are you experiencing the battle fatigue? And I want to give you a couple of recommendations. And the number one thing that helps me, I'm a person of faith, so I do pray and I do seek, spiritual support and guidance. And for me, that's just a given. But so that's already on the table. What I want to talk about are additional steps that you could take, such as getting support. I think having supportive people, that is to me one of the most important things that you can do. When you think in terms of torture and brainwashing and manipulation, one of the very first steps that is taken in a cult is to isolate people, isolate them from their family members, their friends, their daily routine, just isolate them really from themselves, isolate them from the truth, from their own discernment. So isolating people, separating them is so harmful to us. It's so harmful to our being. And you may find, like me, that you lost a lot of friends over the years that didn't stick around with you because you were seeking the truth and you were speaking the truth and you were asking questions and you were vilified just for asking questions. I've got several videos on this channel talking about topics that apparently I can't question. And I'd say that tongue in cheek because I can question anything. And this whole channel is about critical thinking. It's about digging deeper and reading between the lies. Yes, it's called the Healthy American because the powers that shouldn't be were telling us that we were sick. And we were sick with such a deadly disease that we had to be tested to know that we had it. So I, in defiance, named this channel the Healthy American. I suppose I could have called it the Real American, the Authentic American, the Genuine American. All of that is part of it. The Critical Thinking American. But this channel is all about being healthy in your mind. Yes, in your body, in your spirit, in your intellect, in your social interactions. So it's like kind of an overall healthy outlook and way of life. I don't talk about exercise routines and things on this channel. I don't think I ever have done that per se. So it is about digging deeper. It's about supporting each other. And I created this channel because I felt alone. I felt that people weren't seeing the truth of what I was uncovering in terms of the facts related to the laws, related to the emergencies that had no bearing in reality. And I was bringing forth all of this information on platforms like I was on Facebook at the time, and people were just excoriating me, telling me that I was dangerous, that I didn't know what I was talking about, even though I was sharing facts with them, kind of like the tariffs. I'm showing facts of jobs lost the last time Trump did the 2018 tariffs. And I showed, like, historically over the last 100 years, since we're not living in, the 1920s any longer, and people don't want to see the facts. And the cognitive dissonance is so strong that they ridicule, criticize, excoriate me, and I can take it. I don't care about that. I'm here. I'm all about the truth. So standing up and sharing the truth and sharing facts and data can very often leave you feeling isolated and alone. Like, am I the only one that sees this? I certainly felt that with Bob Kennedy, although many of you could see it as well. Others came along after about a year and you said, Peggy, I didn't believe you and I didn't want to hear what you had to say. But I heard him with my own ears and I saw him with my own eyes, and I can see what he's doing again and again. And I'm seeing things differently now. And I think with Elon Musk, I did that as well. And certainly with these tariffs, a lot of people are learning more about that. So I'm not someone that shies away from the truth, no matter the cost. And I've paid the cost. I've lost my jobs, my teaching jobs. They don't hire me back. And, that's fine. This has become my full-time job, teaching here on YouTube, and I'm grateful for it. But the point going back is the isolation, and isolating people is what they tried to do in 2020. Stay home, even if you, well, there were some people that were retired or weren't working, but then they stopped going out socially or seeing their friends or doing their activities. And then there were people like myself that actually had a job to go to, and they told people to stay home. And then suddenly your reason, your purpose, your passion, your paycheck, all of that is gone. I mean, absolutely gone. And it's very demoralizing. And then isolating you and not allowing you to get together at work and to talk these things over. And then even within families, family members didn't want to see each other. They wanted you to stay 6 feet apart or meet outdoors. And the whole thing was artificial and very damaging to normal human interaction. All of that was under the heading of isolation. And that is the number one tool that is used in brainwashing, in cult indoctrinations, and in demoralizing and torture, basically, isolation. So what we need to do is counter that. So to get through the battle fatigue, it's finding your people. And that's why I'm here on YouTube. I love that I can come on this channel and that there are those of you that we can talk about these things, we can share perspectives, we can consider what's going on. And many of you have said, oh, Peggy, you're a breath of fresh air that we can talk about these things. I can't talk about it with my family. And I've also given some advice about that too. Like, don't push so hard with your family members. In some cases, the more you push, the more they pull back. So allow them to find it on their own. Stand in your strength, stand in your truth. And I've got a video called How to Stand Your Ground. And I've got another one, how to speak your mind without losing your mind. And that goes into a great deal of detail. I have another one called How to Have Hard Conversations. I've got another one called Redemption. I've got several videos under my encouragement playlist here on this channel. And I've got a few hundred videos on my backup channel called Living Swell with Peggy Hall. And that's positive encouragement. It is, that is a little bit more health oriented. So if you want more of that kind of content, you can find it there. I do play some of those videos from time to time. I update them and share them on this channel once in a while as well, because we need that encouragement. So find your people. How do you do that? Well, I made a list just today of people that I could really count on to have these conversations with and who are not going to push me out of their life. And I still have friends that have done some of the activities, and I'm not pushing them out of my life. I mean, that's ridiculous. That would be like them pushing me out of their life just because I didn't participate. So you can continue to have these conversations. I think going to different public meetings or public venues is another way of meeting people. I met so many wonderful, healthy Americans when I was attending the Board of Supervisor meetings and the, different educational boards and all different events. So that's another way that you can do it. Don't wait for someone to reach out to you. You reach out to them. If you're standing in line, you're waiting to give your testimony, you can say, hey, do you live nearby? How long have you been an advocate? Do you want to, get together and talk about this? You want to share emails? So there's always a way that you can find people. And I highly recommend that. In our monthly webinars, there are people that exchange their email addresses and they develop the relationships offline. And I think that's another great thing to do. So the support is absolutely huge. Now, something that I do is I'm a person that likes to journal. I like to get my ideas down on paper. I call it thinking on paper. And that's another way that you can deal with the battle fatigue is you can write out everything that's frustrating you and irritating you. And then you can go through that list and ask yourself for each one, what can I do about this? And sometimes the action is prayer and you give it up to God, or you realize I don't have any power in this situation. So if I'm going to make a list of things that irritate me, I'm going to put the spraying in the air, is on there. Of course, all of the cocktail coercion is on there. The intentional destruction of our economy through these threats of tariffs, and that really troubles me. So, like, well, what can I do about that? I don't have any power over Trump. I don't have any power other than educating people to allow them to see the truth of what's going on. So that's an action step that I can take. You can reach out to your representatives. You can let them know how you feel about these issues. I've done that with the spraying in the air. For me, my action is education. I like to learn, I like to increase my knowledge, and then I like to share that knowledge. So I saw I was in, of all places, Miami a couple of months ago, and I saw this billboard. I'm trying to find, I think I took a picture of it. I've got to find that for you. And the billboard said, it was playing on that phrase, which is called the Serenity Prayer. Let me know if you know that and can drop it in a comment. And something along the lines of, Lord, help me accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. I paraphrase, it's probably much more poetic than that. But that phrase about let me accept the things I cannot change. Well, this billboard said, I will not accept the things I cannot change, or I no longer will accept the things I cannot change, something along those lines. I thought that was so powerful. The way I interpreted that was you still stand and live by your principles. You let your principles and your values guide your life. And when you know what those are and you're clear on what those are, then your choices become much more clear as well. And that is different for each individual. So just to recap a little bit, in terms of the battle fatigue, number one, take a break from the social media. At the very least, don't get on the videos and Substacks and all of that on the weekends. Give yourself a break to recharge. Give yourself a break during the day. I am doing my evening live streams and broadcast, which works really well for me. And if the time frame isn't for you, you can follow them, watch them the following day. And that, to me, for me, is a good balance between informed and obsessed. Sometimes I'll do 2 videos a day, but often I'll do 1. And that allows me to stay in touch with everyone, to share my thoughts and perspectives and knowledge and information. But walking that line between being informed and obsessed, you know, you're obsessed if you start to neglect other areas of your life that are important to you. So having a healthy boundary of maybe watching the news, or by the news, I mean, videos on YouTube or reading your Substacks, maybe give yourself an hour day or 2 hours a day, and then balance that with a couple of hours of complete positive enjoyment of your life, creating things, organizing things, building, fixing, sharing, doing, planning, improving, all of these things that make life worth living. All of the simple pleasures, like I've got my Sandy here sleeping next to me. So I love to spend time with my animals. I love to be physically active. I'm still healing my torn meniscus. Thank you, everyone, for all of those home remedies that you sent me that I am working on, and my knee is healing. It is feeling better. I think it will take a few more weeks. So think in terms of not spending all of your life exposed to everything that's going on in the world. That certainly can lead to battle fatigue. So that's number 1, is the healthy boundaries. Number 2, find those supportive people and surround yourself with them, and let the others go. I mean, there are some topics that I just don't talk about with some of my people that are close to me, because it's just not worth it. I mean, they know what I do. They can watch the videos, and they don't even watch the videos, frankly. It's so funny. Some of my dearest friends, like, they don't even watch my videos. It's hilarious. Maybe because they know me, or they feel they're already close to me or something. But I always found that very interesting, that those that are the closest to me have the lowest interest in watching my videos. That's just how it goes. And I can't change that. And it doesn't bother me, because I'm here to share the truth and to spread the truth. And maybe they already know the truth. They don't need to hear it from me. And then the other tip that I gave was to write things out. Just think on paper. try to corral your feelings and your thoughts, and then look at that and say, is this something that I can do about this? If what? If so, what? And then take that action. And maybe it's the action for someone else to take. A simple action you can do is to like the video, share the video, resubscribe to the channel, subscribe for free to the Substack. These are all ways that you can support the work I do, and it's free. And you can also increase your knowledge. So for me, that's another thing that I do. It may sound counterintuitive, like how to overcome the battle fatigue is learning more, but I like to increase my knowledge of history. So I'm not necessarily just fixated on the current events. I have done a deep dive. I mean, I've got my background in international relations. I've done quite a bit of research on the Arab-Israeli conflict, about Palestine. All of that history I find fascinating. It's very, very troubling and distressing. And I can see the parallels with the common day. But then I also like to look at other history, and I love to read biographies. I like to read how people have overcome hardships in their life. So I like to increase my knowledge, and that makes me feel more confident and more competent in that I have more information. Of course, we know that history has been shaped by those who are writing it, which is why I like to draw from a wide variety of references and sources so that I can kind of fill in, the blanks and determine what point of view and bias people are coming at that information with. But the bigger picture was I just like to increase my knowledge, and that gets me out of the emotional fatigue and the battle fatigue. I spend time, as I say, outside of current events, doing things that bring me joy, like spending time with my animals, exercising. I like to garden. I like to organize. And I want to hear from you. So these are some of the tips that I have, but I want to hear your tips. I'm going to take a look at your comments here. And how do you get through this battle fatigue? Okay, Matoka says, whenever someone mentions how the weather is so weird, I take that opportunity to talk about the trails. I love that. Oh my gosh, CAE had a tragic loss of her husband dropping dead right before all of this happened. And she was plummeted into living alone, but luckily she had a job. So a lot of people get support through coworkers. And I think that was a big part, that isolation of, a lot of people found their life meaning in their work, and then to either go on a hiatus or to go on unpaid leave because they wouldn't participate, or no longer going into the office and working at home. I think that harmed a lot of people. Mary wants to talk about the Real ID card. She hasn't gotten one. I did a video about that some time ago, and I will do an update on that for you. Please watch my video about how to go through TSA without getting groped, or the cancer screening, if you know what I'm talking about. But I will do an update on that. NCAE has been following me the whole time. Spiritual Anarchist says that the battle fatigue resonates seriously. And CAE also said that her son started a blog, and there were a lot of things came out of the disaster. That is so true. Let's see what we've got here, friends. Charlie wants to know, who are some great Substacks to follow? There's one I've heard of. It's The Healthy American. I don't read a lot of other Substacks. I just don't have time to do that as much. I'm doing my own primary research, but maybe someone has someone else's to recommend. Ava just started painting again, trying to garden, but the mosquitoes are heartless. Painting, reading, studying, researching. And I really love that. Gregory says, give yourself a break today. Yeah, I remember that jingle. It is important. Yes, let's see. Sea Whale has a trail buster base under construction. I want to thank you for sending me the Organite, I think it's called, which I have used, and I appreciate that so much. I'm a little bit behind on some of my thank yous. Rhonda was helping me, and I really appreciate that, Rhonda. I've got a few thank yous that I'm still behind on. Oh my gosh, Kathy also lost her spouse. I am so sorry to hear these losses, friends. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you will find the peace of God in your heart, and that you'll find the support and comfort from others on your grief journey. I think it's a lifelong thing. I've had lots of losses in my life and still dealing with that grief. I think it's just something we all have an individual journey on, and I very much feel for you on that. Jordan said, yes, they wanted us to hurt. They still want us to hurt. Todd says, I feel sorry for you, Peg. I think I know who you were talking about, somebody that I trusted in my earlier days. Yeah. That's just a part of life. We all have had that betrayal, and it does hurt. It does hurt. I'm just looking at your comments here, friends. What I was really moved to share with you today was it's okay to feel the fatigue, and it's okay to take a break. It's important to take a break. I have so many subscribers here that have been with me from the very beginning, like Todd and Ava, Rhonda, so many. And I appreciate you more than I can express. There are people out there that want to tear us down, that want to wear us down. And when you're in the public eye, like I am, you become a target, not only a target for other people that want to badmouth you and everything, but people that are frustrated and angry, and they're angry at what's going on, and you're there, you're in front of them. So it's easy for them to get mad at you and all of that. So I understand that quite a bit. And you've experienced it too with your friends and family who have gotten frustrated and angry with you. So the point of my message, I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you, and that support is invaluable. And even though this is online, I feel it very authentically. And I know that there are people I have email conversations with, and I've got pen pal relationships with. And I know that if I needed something, I could call on them. And if they needed something, they could call on me. And I was saying to my husband, it's so amazing that these are people, many of them that I've never even met, but I feel like we have a bond. And I'm so grateful for that. So let's keep that support coming. Take the breaks, acknowledge the battle fatigue, take care of yourself in ways that work for you. And it's different for everyone else. But just acknowledge that you alone don't have to do it all. It's not up to you personally to fix all of the ills, to have all of the answers. I know a lot of people will ask me, what can I do about this? What can I do about this? And I'm grateful that they think I have the answers. I don't have all the answers. What I have are questions, and I have some action steps, and I have encouragement, and I have moral support, and I have faith, and I have truth, and I have all of those things. So let's each help each other out as we go through these trying times. I'm getting a feeling. Remember back, it was like 2020 and it was really bad. And then 2021, the years were all blurring, but there were times when they would ease off a little bit, especially in California. Then they'd slam down again. Then they'd ease off a little bit. Then they'd slam down again. I'm getting this sense that they might be slamming down on something again. So that means we have to be more ready physically, emotionally, with our own perseverance, our own wherewithal. And so please, I really urge all of you, take care of your health, your physical, mental, spiritual, social, all of those things. And know that I'm here for you. I appreciate you being on board. And I thank you for being a key in helping me get through the battle fatigue, just knowing that we can turn to each other and just give each other the support that we need during these times. So thank you, everybody, for being on board. Later this week, I've got some very interesting interviews coming up for you with Patrick Wood about technocracy. Then I've got an interview about fluoride, and Justin from We Are Change Orlando here in Florida, what he's been doing. Really good news. And then really good news coming out from Idaho with the health freedom law, which, by the way, I did clarify. And there was a little caveat that said, except in the case of federal law, meaning there are some, the federal government cannot intrude within a state. But when there is interstate travel or you're traveling overseas, then there are other laws that apply. But it cannot be that your employer or a school or a grocery store, anything like that in Idaho cannot discriminate against you because of your medical status. So, not that I'm in favor of new laws, but this is a great one. And there can be other states that follow as well. So we'll leave on that happy note. Thank you, everyone. And a big shout out to Valerie. She says community is a very important thing. And Valerie has kept, along with Rhonda, this community going. And I appreciate both of you so much. Ava is here from time to time. She stood strong against all of the requirements on the airlines. So she's here when she is able. And of course, all of you that make up our Healthy American community. All right, I'm doing the Tennessee goodbye here. Thank you, everybody. Hope that you have a wonderful evening. Take a break, and I will be back with you tomorrow with a whole lineup of interviews for you this week. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you in